You know, many Iowans are taking advantage of the state's first in the nation status by getting out and seeing Democratic presidential candidates in person.
That's right. Hundreds did that tonight for a rally for former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg in Davenport. WSBT 22's Caroline Torrey is live at St. Ambrose University, where that rally wrapped up just a short time ago. And Caroline, this event was the last of a packed schedule for Buttigieg today.
It was one of 4 events across the state today, and other events are planned before the caucuses happen on Monday. I talked to a lot of voters today. Many of them appreciate the opportunities like tonight's rally to get in front of candidates, to hear them and listen to their perspectives so they can understand who they're voting for come Monday night.
Iowa, of course, it's our third crop other than corn and soybeans, presidential candidates.
Politics it's in the DNA, the water here.
Mac Pritchard grew up in the Hawkeye State and is back this weekend visiting family. One of his stops at this rally to see what Buttigieg is all about.
I want to learn and meet the candidates directly. And here in Iowa, the other places, New Hampshire, you can actually do that.
He and many others wanted to satisfy that curiosity by attending a rally for Buttigieg tonight.
I think he just has a really good vision and a good heart.
Ariana Wyndham and her family and friends drove from Ohio to show support for the Buttigieg campaign.
If everybody just took 5 minutes to listen to everything that he has to say, almost anybody could really connect with him.
Tracy Hatfield, a veteran caucus goer in Iowa, agrees.
Rarely do you find a guy that not only has good policy proposals, but then he's also a really good guy.
But not everyone at tonight's rally is 100% sure they will support Buttigieg when the time comes on Monday. Keith Klassen and his wife are undecided, but say Buttigieg has good qualities.
Buttigieg seems very smart.
For them, what matters the most is finding the candidate that can win the general election in November. But in the meantime, the most important thing people can do is take part in the caucus process.
The important thing is that they show up and they stand up. And this is democracy at its base.
Coming up next hour, if you flip to WSBT 22, you will hear what Pete Buttigieg said to supporters and hopeful supporters. Live here in Davenport, I'm Caroline Torrey, WSBT 22 News.
Decision day is almost here. Democratic presidential candidates moving full steam ahead to draw on support on the eve of the Iowa caucuses.
WSBT 22's Caroline Torrey is following the race and joins us live from Cedar Rapids. And Caroline, South Bend's former mayor, is confident Iowans will turn out to support him.
Pete Buttigieg says the caucuses are a chance to show versus tell that his campaign is strong enough to defeat President Trump. In the meantime, the clock is ticking, and he's reaching out to those potential voters who might not yet know who they're voting for. More than 900 people came to this rally for Buttigieg in Coralville Sunday. His final pitch telling voters it's time to turn the page and leave the politics of the past in the past.
To have a new politics that's defined by belonging and boldness and action. That's what this campaign is about, and I think that's what Iowans are looking for.
It's why many lined the halls, waited to see him in person.
He's moderate and he's very articulate. I think he's a very good person to take on Trump.
But some, despite saying he's their favorite candidate, are torn between what they consider a choice between their heart and head and wondering if other caucus goers want him to win. I asked him what he wanted to say to those people and to those who question his lack of experience on a national level.
My message is that your head and your heart can both lead you to this campaign. You shouldn't have to feel that you need to choose between head and heart, between winning big and governing well. From the perspective of experience, what I offer is experience in governing gathered on the ground, guiding a city in the industrial Midwest through some of its toughest times and coming out on top.
Iowa City Mayor Bruce Teague publicly endorsed Buttigieg just one day before voters will caucus. I spoke with him about the perceived lack of black support for Buttigieg.
The bad things that people are saying, he's not running away from. He wants to talk about it. He wants people to understand that, no, I am the president that will serve all people.
He says the former mayor listens to the heart of the people and has the ability to cross the divide. Voter Tamara Becker says Buttigieg's ability to engage with people is a big reason why she supports him.
When people were asking questions, he was actively listening. He wasn't listening to respond.
The caucuses get underway at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern here in Iowa tomorrow night in libraries, gymnasiums, hotels, and other gathering spaces. I will be following the process as well as covering the results. I'll have that tomorrow night live on WSBT. Live here in Cedar Rapids, I'm Caroline Torrey, WSBT 22 News.
The start of the Iowa caucuses is less than 2 hours away.
It could give us a better picture of what the Democratic presidential field will look like moving forward. WSBT 22's Caroline Torrey is live in Des Moines. And Caroline, new rules are in place this year to track results.
After a really tight race in 2016 between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, the Iowa Democratic Party made some choices. So now they will record voters' choices when they walk in the door instead of just at the end of the night. So that's what's called the first alignment. Candidates who have 15% of the vote or more are considered viable. If your candidate is below that threshold, you have the option of moving to a candidate that does have that support, or you can abstain. Once voters make their final choice, that's the number that really counts. It will determine how many state equivalent delegates each candidate gets. Whoever gets the most becomes Iowa's Democratic nominee for president. Some say they appreciate what the caucuses do for the state, while others are skeptical about the caucus process.
Oh, they're exciting, and for Des Moines, it means a really nice economic boost this time of year. Plus, who has anything to do in February, right?
I think it's bringing the community together. It's exciting.
I've just seen news reports and people are standing caucusing with their hands up, and there's a guy counting, and I'm like, too much error, margin of error.
I will be watching one of the caucuses as it happens, and then after that, I'll be moving to candidate Pete Buttigieg's watch party. I will be tracking what happens and the results, and I will have much more tonight at 10 and 11. Live here in Des Moines, I'm Caroline Torrey, WSBT 22 News.
Breaking news happening right now. You are taking a live look in Des Moines, Iowa. People there and across the state are caucusing in what will set the tone for the Democratic candidates in the 2020 election.
And all eyes are watching Iowa as the results from the caucuses start coming in.
WSBT 22's Caroline Torrey is live in Des Moines. And Caroline, what's going on out there right now?
Right now, supporters are just anxiously awaiting these results. Right now, I'm here at Pete Buttigieg's watch party. You can see there are a lot of people here behind me eagerly waiting for their candidate. And as these results come in, they are hoping for the best outcome. Democracy in action across the state of Iowa tonight.
You know, I really feel I'm part of
a tradition happening every 4 years for many caucusing veterans.
I've done this since I was a kid in 1976.
But others are new to the process.
I think it's very important, and with Iowa being the first caucus, I think that it's important that everyone who can and is available should try and come out, because this is the future.
Fletcher Kirk came home to Des Moines from college so he could take part in what he says is a civic duty.
Voting and coming to this stuff is what we're here to do. That's how America's been set up.
They are just a couple of the 849 caucus goers at this precinct at Drake University. The crowd of participants from age 17 to 96, taking very seriously their role deciding which Democratic candidate should win Iowa and take on President Donald Trump in November.
Because I don't want Trump to win.
5 campaigns reached the critical 15% viability threshold to qualify to get state delegates here. Biden, Buttigieg, Klobuchar, Sanders, and Warren. Some voters hope the results here will inspire the rest of America to participate in primaries, too.
I just hope everybody continues to show out like they are tonight to primaries around the nation.
We will be sure to let you know when those results come in, but in the meantime, you can bet that all of the candidates have their eyes on the next primary, New Hampshire. Live here in Des Moines, I'm Caroline Torrey, WSBT 22 News.
Breaking news right now at 6, the results of the Iowa Democratic presidential caucuses are finally coming in. Early results show former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg with a narrow lead right there.
With 62% of the results in, Buttigieg leads Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders by a little less than 2 percentage points. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is in 3rd, and former Vice President Joe Biden is in 4th.
Now, Iowa Democratic Party leaders blame the nearly 24-hour delay on a coding glitch with a new app that was supposed to make this process easier.
Supposed to. New at 6, WSBT 22's Caroline Torrey reports from Cedar Rapids with what voters are saying about this significant delay.
Disbelief and confusion. That's how many voters in Iowa are feeling today. A process that was expected to go smoothly Monday night, getting sets of caucus results back to the Iowa Democratic Party. But inconsistencies from a new data reporting system delayed results and have some wondering about the future. Some Iowans delivering scathing words to describe what happened during and after the caucuses in Iowa Monday.
If the Democrats win, the economy will look like the Iowa Democratic Caucus last night.
I think it's ridiculous.
Others concerned about what the issue could mean for the state's prominent role in the presidential selection process.
First in the nation status for Iowa is important, very important for us. And you've heard over time, other states or even nationally, there was why Iowa. And that's just going to feed to that fire, I think.
But not all voters say the reporting delay will have a negative impact. Caucus participant Christian Williams says the optics of the situation look worse than it is, and people need to be patient.
Yeah, it sucks that the results are a little bit delayed, but they did a really good job of, at least in my precinct, of counting and being very thorough with the first alignment, second alignment, and then getting the total count. So I think that it's just a matter of time and everyone can wait.
The Iowa Democratic Party says the data collected on the app was accurate, but it was only sending back partial data to the party due to coding issues. In Cedar Rapids, I'm Caroline Torrey, WSBT 22 News.